Let's get to the news. In her first solo interview since becoming the Democratic nominee, Vice President Kamala Harris criticized former President Trump's debate performance and said he, quote, had a very hard time answering the simplest of questions, like, how are you this evening?
They're eating the dogs.
In a post to Truth Social over the weekend, former President Trump said, quote, I hate Taylor Swift. Sounds like he's making a strong play for the 9-year-old brother vote.
You and me both.
President Biden sat down last week for an interview with the LGBTQ plus news outlet, The Washington Blade. They had questions about his policies, and he had questions about everything after LGB. What's the back half of this? Ben & Jerry's has announced a new ice cream flavor inspired by Vice President Kamala Harris called Kamala's Coconut Jubilee, and one inspired by Tim Walz called Plain. Careful, it's a little spicy. It's a little spicy. Amazon CEO Andy Jassy said in a new letter that employees must return to the office full time, and Amazon employees said they didn't get the letter because it was stolen from their porch. Pope Francis told reporters last week that he believes Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Trump are both, quote, against life. And in case you were wondering, who could possibly still be an undecided voter? New York State's official website for tourism has published its predictions for where and when to find the best fall foliage. And no matter when you make the drive, the answer is a couple of weeks ago. Sorry, our head writer, Alex Bays, has gotten burned by foliage a few times. He wanted to get in there because he wanted to get back at foliage. And I'm like, you can't get back at foliage. And he was like, just do the joke. A Jane's Addiction concert ended early in Boston last week after its guitarist and lead singer appeared to get into a fight on stage. So even if you didn't get Oasis tickets, you still basically got the experience. That's right, Jane's Addiction concert. A Jane's Addiction concert ended early in Boston last week after its band members appeared to get into a fight on stage. Luckily, a fight is everybody in Boston's favorite song. At a Trump campaign rally last night, Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders said that her kids keep her humble and added, quote, unfortunately, Kamala Harris doesn't have anything to keep her humble. Though I'm not sure the math checks out there because doesn't Trump have like 5? According to a new poll, Vice President Kamala Harris has a 6-point lead over former President Trump following last week's debate. And if you think that's a big lead, then you just don't follow New York football. In a new interview, Vice President Kamala Harris said she's very grateful and honored to have Taylor Swift's endorsement. Well, I'm sure Trump has gotten some big-name musicians to endorse him. Oh, no! Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton are set to host separate fundraisers on Friday for Vice President Kamala Harris, with Obama's event in the evening and Clinton's in the afternoon. And in an attempt to win Harris the senior vote, Joe Biden will host an event at 5 in the morning. Folks, here's the deal. I've been up since 3:30. I got up to pee. I never went back. Former President Trump held a rally today on Long Island at the Nassau Coliseum, and just like every stadium show held on Long Island, he ended with Piano Man. That's just the law out there. House Speaker Mike Johnson yesterday criticized Vice President Kamala Harris's economic plan and said it includes centralized price controls, new government spending programs, and car giveaways, adding, quote, it's like Oprah's running for president. Are you trying to win this for her? Her ideas are like Oprah. Her personality is that of Tom Hanks. And no offense, her singing voice is barely as good as Adele's. In a new interview, Dolly Parton said that Taylor Swift has been a great inspiration and added, quote, Lord knows we need some uplifting people and things. Man, if Trump responds by tweeting, I hate Dolly Parton, he'll finish 3rd behind Jill Stein. The food storage company Tupperware Brands filed yesterday for bankruptcy because they wouldn't take my idea. Authorities in New York are looking for 2 people who allegedly got onto an empty subway train at a station in Queens, took it for a joyride, and then crashed it. Police say this may be the first ever case of someone experiencing joy on the subway. Finally, Taco Bell announced yesterday that it successfully lobbied to have National Taco Day moved from October 4th to the first Tuesday in October. It's the first time a corporation has managed to change the calendar since Target moved Christmas to September. Former President Trump said yesterday that the Teamsters' decision not to endorse a candidate in the upcoming presidential election was a, quote, great honor. Wow, I mean, if not getting endorsed is a great honor, this has been a huge couple of weeks for you. A woman was removed from former President Trump's rally on Long Island last night after she allegedly flashed the crowd. Really? They threw out the one person there who was actually trying to make America great again. While visiting a cryptocurrency-themed bar yesterday in New York City, former President Trump said, quote, I love New York, but New York has a lot of problems. For example, we apparently have a cryptocurrency-themed bar. Former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is reportedly considering running next year for mayor of New York City. I mean, he meets all the qualifications to be a New York City mayor. He's weird and very unpopular. The inaugural National Urban Rat Summit began yesterday in New York City, which I assume is a gathering of Mayor Adams' staff who are cooperating with the FBI. That's right. Health officials, experts, and public works officials from across the country gathered yesterday for New York's National Urban Rat Summit, which is different from the Rat Summit held outside every New York restaurant 20 minutes after they close. Why do we gotta host the Rat Summit? At his rally yesterday on Long Island, former President Trump said that he hasn't read former First Lady Melania Trump's new memoir because he's been so busy. I'm sure she's not surprised. He never reads anything she gives him. The FBI said yesterday that Iranian hackers stole information from the Trump campaign earlier this summer and tried to send it to President Biden's campaign. Luckily, nothing they found was as incriminating as the stuff Trump says out loud. According to a new survey, the average American knows by 8:36 a.m. if it's going to be a bad day. I guess that's about when you realize you set your alarm for 8 o'clock p.m. And finally, Coca-Cola announced this week that it's partnering with Bacardi on canned rum and cokes. Not to be outdone, Mountain Dew just added ketamine. And that was a monologue, everybody.